Hi, welcome back. There's been a lot of interest in my posting about 5G technology, and I'd have to say my concern about this has only heightened through the wise and wonderful feedback that I've had. The questions that have been posed all have led me to do some further research, and the more research I do, the more concerned I am. I'm equally concerned about the propaganda that's being pushed out. I have a feed, a Google feed on 5G, and I'd have to say the propaganda extolling its virtues and its inevitability is astounding, particularly as, without exception, there's no mention of any possible dangers, no disclaimers or anything. This to me suggests arrogance and ignorance. A huge concern, because there will be people in the system who know about this and don't care, and of course the vast majority of them who seem to be addicted to what seems to be cult-like behaviour. Last time I said that my interest in this has been born of observation over 35 years plus of when I was doing acupuncture and beginning to understand the subtleties of the human energetic system. Something that in general as a medical profession we've been in denial about. Our tools have been drugs, and strong drugs, and they've both been very helpful, but as we all know they've been targeting other cells and other bacteria in our body as well. So we have a crisis now because we have ignored the subtlety of the human body. The subtlety is where we also our emotions are, our mind health is, our spiritual awareness is, our love is, and I would say all the important things in life are. And I've always been amazed how a simple touch on one acupuncture point for people who are very sensitive can change them and turn them into often a very relaxed person. Others you have to work harder on. It seems that we are intimately connected to the ionosphere and to the resonances of this earth, called the Schumann resonances, and the resonance of this earth are very much dependent on such things as lightning strikes, and which of course are dependent on the belt of jungle and bush and greenery that we have. And what is astounding is now that all this, which I've struggled to get into the consciousness of a large number of people, it's been my work over the last 20 years at least of writing, appears to be completely fruitless with these people. I read this article, and I'll post it down below, by Arthur Furstenberg, who's written a book. He's written many books on this, and the book's called The Invisible Rainbow. So that's really what we're talking about. We're not talking just about our energetic system, but the subtle energetic circuitries and life-affirming circuitries, life-essential circuitries that there are in the system. The Invisible Rainbow. This is his blurb. He's a scientist and a journalist who is at the forefront of a global movement to tear down the taboo surrounding this subject. After graduating from Pi Beta Kappa from Cornell University with a degree in mathematics, he attended the University of California from 1978 to 82. However, he sustained an X-ray overdose, and that cut short his medical career. He was injured by that, and therefore it turned him, like so many researchers who have been touched by such things, they start investigating things for their own sake, but also for the sake of others. And he has developed, he seems to be a wonderful authority, and apparently a very good writer as well. Now he's really in this article outlined what is happening as part of this 5G rollout. Applications in March were made for well over 4,000 new satellites to be sent up in the air, with plans for well over 12,000 to go up. The idea is that every square centimetre of this Earth will be covered and accessible by the rays planted down, to a point that they can, with great accuracy, aim a rays at any particular point in the world. They talk about like the top of an acorn or a coin. That's how accurate they could be. Of course, all this is part of a network of receiving and transmitting stations here along every road, connecting to smart devices. The change in our electrical environment will be astounding. Now, for those people who feel that the important things about the human body are our tissue and our mechanics and our chemistry only, and that there's no such thing as energy and physics in the body, of course, if they're in that state of denial, this is probably the taboo, this will mean nothing. This will be nothing. They will literally live in a fool's paradise, that the population, including them and their children, will be impervious to this. And it is totally bizarre. As I mentioned before, it appears to be cult-like behaviour on a massive scale, with huge denial. And in fact, even when the denial is coming from science that's obvious, will everybody be affected in the same way? Well, from my experience, absolutely not. Those people who are electrically sensitive at the moment also have had a past where their immune systems have become very sensitive. Often they have been suffering from complex post-traumatic stress, and we see in our immune systems accumulation over the years, from birth, possibly even before, of loading of our immune systems. And what loads us could be chemical poisoning. It could be eating the wrong foods. It could be emotional pressure, gaslighting, bullying, unresolved grief. All this will mount like steps towards a point where we decompensate and we get sick. And we get sick with things like whatever our genetic structure puts us at risk from. Many will get sick from chronic fatigue and headaches, but others will get sick from cancer and heart disease. And in society at the moment there are so many just below that threshold. Sure, they're functioning, they're not unwell as we would classify them, but they're on the edge. Their bodies are telling them they're on the edge. They have an irritable bowel, they're not sleeping, they're borderline depressed, borderline anxious. So what's going to happen to them when this accumulation occurs and they're energetic and their immune systems to tip them over? And what about those who are the most vulnerable, those who have had the biggest shocks in their lives? There's the chronic, persistent shocks of complex post-traumatic stress. The young babies who have not yet developed thick rhino hides in their ego to protect them. what's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to the bees, the butterflies, the bacteria in our soil, the ones that are left? What's going to happen to the migrating birds who rely not only on sensitive electromagnetic sensors, but also, it appears, quantum means to navigate? How's that going to impact on their survival? Are we going to see mass genocide of species? Can one species like us be so arrogant to feel that we can do this, and that the results, the interconnectedness of all things, the mantra of this cult, is more important than anything else, that our instant gratification is more important than everything else, and all the rest is irrelevant, because it is our growth of our species that is the most important thing. I put it to them, like all cults, that's going to end very badly unless you start to listen, unless people start to question this now before disaster occurs. Thank you.